Hey guys, Frank with Tithely, coming to you once again, 9 a.m. Pacific. What are we on, Thursday? Man, it's crazy. I kind of lose track of the days in this work from home environment. But I am joined today by Mr. Matt Morrison. Matt, how's it going today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I got the coffee over here
Nice.
with the pink lettering. Feeling good.
Ready to go.
Yes, very good. And Matt, tell everyone where you're tuning in from.
I am based on Vancouver Island up in Canada.
Yes, Vancouver Island, and 5 kids in the house, or maybe 3.
Or it could sound like we got 3. It felt like 5 this morning. That's what the coffee's for.
I get it. On the live yesterday, one of mine walked in the room and kind of hung out back there, and then put his face on camera and then left. You know, he just wanted to be part of the moment.
In COVID, I've had a lot of BBC dad moments already where the kids are just storming in, and you're trying to keep your cool, but
right. Luckily, we've all learned from that moment, and we know how to keep it together. It's the new normal. So, man, if you're joining us on the Facebook Live, or maybe you're on YouTube Live, we're trying to get LinkedIn Live sorted out. But if you're joining us live, thanks for being with us. We've been meeting with pastors and church leaders for the past. This is week 4 actually. So we've done daily Monday through Friday for 4 weeks in a row, just talking to church leaders and pastors and even some volunteers in kind of all kinds of churches all over the US so far. We're trying to get some international folks in here. We've got Canada represented today. Right? So you're the beginning, Matt. You're the beginning. But just trying to have these conversations with people doing church and what it's going, how it's going for them, how church online has been, live streaming, remote kind of connecting with people, doing everything on video, like video burnout, video fatigue, just talking about all this kind of stuff. So it's been super fun. Today we're kind of deviating a little bit. Matt actually runs our website team at Tithely, amongst a few other things now, actually. And so Matt has spent a number of years, 10 years or so, Matt?
Yeah, 10 now.
Probably more if you go kind of pre-software and you're kind of building websites for your church on your own and things like that. So, but anyways, Matt has spent a long time building websites for churches, and we officially launched Tithely sites to the universe this week. We were kind of in a back to customers, almost kind of beta mode in a way for a while, and so we're launching it publicly. So, man, let's jump in. We're going to do a little show and tell, talk a little bit about it. But Matt, maybe give the audience a little bit of your background, kind of where you come from, and why you're excited about websites.
Definitely, happy to. So just the really quick background story is just seeing the problem churches had, trying to find whether it was someone in your church to help you or trying to find the right solution online, and just seeing so many solutions out there that were tough for the average church to set up or didn't have the right feature set or whatever. We've been having a lot of fun on our team just getting all those features built over the last number of years, and just really equipping churches with all those little details that you need to run it really well, but also to be able to equip your administrators that they can easily make those changes and get set up. And so, it's been a lot of fun. And then obviously going live with Tithely has been a blast, and getting to see hundreds of Tithely customers now on the platform and loving it. And we see you in the Facebook comments, and so appreciate kind of posting.
There was a thread. There was a thread the other day, right, in our private Facebook group, which we have in our Tithely private Facebook group. We're probably approaching 8,000 people in that group. I'm not exactly sure how many churches that represents, but thousands of churches. And quite often people are like, "Hey, who's using Tithely sites?" Because it's kind of a new product for us. And I maybe a week ago, there was 40 comments of people listing their website that's been built on Tithely sites and saying, "Hey, go check it out." So that was really cool. And we have over 1,100 total customers on Tithely sites today.
It's fun. I was actually crunching some numbers yesterday. So I think we launched back to we let our Tithely customers know end of January. We've had probably, I think, over 600 people sign up. And of that, I think we've already launched almost 400 of those websites. And that's just in 4 months here. So pretty fun to see that a whole new level with Tithely. There's so many great customers and people are enthusiastic. So it's been a lot of fun to help everyone out.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in. I mean, I think we were talking about in prepping for this, why Tithely sites? Why would I want Tithely sites compared to WordPress or Squarespace or Wix or pick another? Oftentimes really, why are Tithely sites for churches better than these other tools out there? So let's run through some of that.
Yeah, we thought that could kind of be a helpful way to kind of gauge where's my website at today. You might love your website. You might find there's a couple things broken about it. You might find, hey, we need to scrap this thing. And so obviously that decision is a big one. And some we wanted to kind of touch on some of the most common ones out there in terms of as you're kind of playing the comparison game, where does Tithely sites land in it? So really what I'll probably speak to most of all here is WordPress, Squarespace, Wix would be another common one. But obviously even throw them into the comments if you have other ones you're wondering about. Happy to chime in and share.
Pop your website in the comments. Like while we're here, we'd love to see your websites. Pop a link. If you're on Tithely sites, great. If not, that's great too. Just pop a link in the comments and we'll do some website review.
So what we'll do here is we'll kind of walk through. I thought I'd just highlight five key features that would kind of where they would differ from what kind of the average or kind of the standard system would do. And so I'm actually just going to share a screen here. First of all, to highlight the sermon player and podcast tool. This is one that often, if you're using like a WordPress tool, often there's complex plugins or a lot of like behind the scenes code you need to do to really get it to work the way you want. And so with us, right out of the gate, this is probably one of our most powerful features we've built to really allow you to set up a podcast within minutes from when you actually fire up your site. And so right out of the gate, you can upload a new sermon. You can sort them by series. You can upload your sermon notes and have all your different speakers in there, and it's really, really simple to do. And so right out of the gate, one of the major factors of our platform is that we actually have an RSS feed that goes right to iTunes. And so you just have to make that link and connect it, and you have a podcast going right away. So I kind of talk about it like it's just 3 steps, and that's what's crazy, because that's something that often you're either like with a WordPress, I think people most often have to subscribe to a third-party service or use something else. In Squarespace, you're kind of trying to use their media library, but it's maybe not quite doing it exactly how you want. So you maybe end up settling for it. So this is something where we thought, hey, we know exactly what you're trying to do here, and we can kind of set it up in such a way that it works right out of the gate.
Yeah, like sermons and organizing your sermons by a series that you're maybe preaching over a number of weeks or even months is a super common thing in the church, right? So, and you want to show, who is preaching, what date it was on, maybe the scripture that was referenced, maybe some topic, tag it with topics. Like there's all these things that are packed into, the sermon player, and then being able to feed that out to iTunes and other places. Yeah. So it's possible in other systems. We've just done it in a way where like, as soon as you get a Tithely site, you have a great sermon player that you can organize by series. You can push it out to iTunes and it just works. Yeah. Versus doing all these plugins or manipulating another system that wasn't really built for what churches do specifically. So it's a little bit, although you can get there, but it's just not easy, right? It takes a few more steps, a little more effort, a little more knowledge of the platform.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, for anyone that's watching that maybe already has a Tithely app or is considering a Tithely app, is that all you do is drop one URL into your Tithely app settings, and right away your sermons automatically sync. So my church would have a Tithely site and a Tithely app, and we never have to update the sermons in our Tithely app because it happens automatically. So lots of different plug and play functionality there, which is great because it saves you the time of having to add things in multiple spots, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's kind of the first one to highlight. The second one I wanted to touch on was something we released a couple of years ago called blocks. And this was the ability to basically, so many content management systems will kind of give you a text area to populate the content of a page, or just be limited in kind of the structure. And so we wanted to blow that out of the water with the ability to really build out any page with whatever kind of format and functionality you wanted. We didn't want you to be limited by the content, because sometimes if you've got someone who's custom coding you a website, you can just have at her and tell them exactly what you want. But if you're using a content management system like a WordPress or Squarespace, you can feel a bit limited by it. And so what we did was basically create this ability for you to come in here and create a block, and you can add all types of things: image links, galleries, videos, events, news, sermons, and it does go on to any page of the site. So whatever you want to put on any page, we've made it possible for you to do that. And so you can kind of see here this I'm new page or visitor page. We kind of talk through what it would look like to come visit the church, and we kind of tell a different story using some different images here. And so it really kind of helps the page feel really dynamic and engaging rather than just a really long block of text or anything like that. So this is
what I think is cool about this is like you're on your church's website and you are logged as an administrator. So you're seeing kind of a view of your website, like as if you were a visitor, but you have these controls to actually edit things.
Yeah.
So you're not in this like back end that, you're working in some kind of place where you don't see it, but you kind of see it live right there. I'm sure there's more powerful controls too, but you have this view that is just really clean, really simple. You can see what you're doing and you can add things in really easily. So love that.
That's a great point, and actually something I won't spend too much time diving into today, but it's kind of that simplicity and ease of use was something that was one of the most important things we wanted to do, was make it so that you could really pass this to anyone at your church, and they just have to know how to click edit. They have to know that this allows you to move something a little bit. They have to know that this would let you edit the image. So we basically say, if you know how to send an email, if you have that level of technical capability, then you know how to edit this website. And we wanted that so that you didn't have to say, well, we have to get the tech guy to edit the website. It really could be whoever is willing and able to come in here could make those changes.
Yeah, love that.
All right. So the next feature that was pretty church specific and fun to build was the events calendar. Now, this is funny. I spent a little bit of time trying to find an events calendar right now because so many churches' calendars are running empty as it goes as we kind of push through COVID. But so 10th here was a great example of a church who's still got their calendars running. And so just to highlight something here, so many times churches for their events will just kind of drop in and maybe a Google embedded calendar, or there's some kind of WordPress built-in plugin, and you're just displaying all of your events really in probably a mode similar to this. And what we found with this kind of standard calendar view was it does a couple things not so great. One, it doesn't really highlight the big events coming up. You might have a big conference in 4 weeks that you're trying to drive registration to, or it's just something that's really important to your community right now. But this kind of puts every event at the same level for the most part.
Right.
We didn't
like Sunday service and maybe a midweek, prayer group or even small groups, like those are every single week, and they just clutter the whole calendar, and it's a repeating event. But every church has a big summer camp or a big Easter service or whatever, these big things that they're doing that are different from your day-to-day activity.
And not to mention that, I think the biggest thing about what you said about the summer camp is that it's not in May. So if you land on the church calendar and you're looking in May, you're not actually seeing anything. So right now, I always say the worst case scenario is if it was May 29th today and you had a big June 1st event, people would have to click the next month over to even see that event was coming. So what we wanted to do here was really rethink the church events page with kind of featuring those big events on the left that would be kind of the big ones to highlight. And then, like you said, the prayer groups, the Sunday services, those can all fall into the right side here. And so that was a real big shift we did. That I think helped really highlight those bigger events coming up. In addition to that, we actually distribute the events throughout the site. So we have event blocks you can add in other pages. You can associate the event with ministries. And so if you had, let's say this sanctuary course was a course especially for young adults, you could associate it with your young adults ministry and have that show up over on the young adults page. And so just a really nice picture where you're not having to go add it in 5 different spots to make sure that people see it no matter where they come. And then probably
like big events could be on the homepage, right? You could have your kind of feature events showing up on the homepage. You could have your young adults events showing up on the young adults page. I don't know what other, maybe you're like middle school ministry events on the middle school page. And then you could have this big kind of calendar page where everything is there.
Yeah, and then one of the subtle but maybe favorite features we did, this was probably in like week 2 of development, like 10 years ago, but I love it, is that this May 7th course on the midnight on May 8th, it comes off the website in every spot. And so probably solves one of the biggest problems we saw, which was just out-of-date content kind of being left behind. Not to anyone's fault. It's hard to keep up on every single event, but we knew that, hey, we know what time that event's at, so we're going to take it off as soon as that event passes.
Right. Love it. Yeah. Make it a little smart, right? For these people.
Yeah, that's right. And then another thing I wanted to just highlight, especially kind of in the season of COVID right now, is the ability to highlight your small groups. So we've got a bunch of different page layout abilities, but there's a really great way using our collections system to be able to kind of post all your different small groups. So, and again, the whole way this looks might look a lot different now, and that you're not sending them to a address. Maybe you're sending them to a Zoom link, which is awesome and a great way to get people connecting right now. But we still want to let people know, hey, here's the different groups our church is running, and here's how you might sign up for one. So you can actually maybe something to highlight here is there's the ability. So let's say Robin, her page is a little bare right now, but we know that Robin has a great, vibrant small group running, and she can actually kind of spruce this page up. We can give her permissions, create an account give her permissions to come and make this page whatever she wants. So she could keep it really simple, but she could also post some fun things for doing. She could post a gallery of what her small group is, where they're meeting, or she might post a location or a contact form to say, hey, we'd love to pray for you, or click here to fill out a form if you're interested in joining our small group. And so It really empowers each ministry leader for whatever area to be able to say, you can come control your page with whatever you need to do. She could make sub pages here. And so there's lots of different kind of abilities there that, again, might be challenging to get with another platform where you're kind of assigning them really specific functionality. So if Robin logs into her page, she can actually come in here and she could post a sub page, she could add events, news, she could have her own little blog running here, whatever it would be. You kind of get the idea that, but there's just all this power for her to set it up. And I think what this helps is preventing or kind of avoiding the problem where ministry leaders will go create their own websites because they can't quite manage your main website the way they want. And so they go create their whole own website. They've got multiple online presences to have to manage, especially if that ministry leader leaves. Now you got to shut it down. And so anyways, this helps keep everything in-house where you're saying, hey, you get to fully control what you want to do on your page.
And it gives people power, right? There's flexibility, there's, a lot of power behind it, but then it also operates in a very simple way, right? Like, you don't have to give people this control. You don't have to go that far. You can have a great young adults page and be done. And the events show up on it that need to show up, and they fall off when they fall off. And there's an easy kind of, join the young adults ministry kind of forum or something, but it can be very simple, or you can also go very powerful and have a bunch of different people being administrators. So love that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So one thing I just wanted to quickly highlight here was what Salt Creek Baptist Church is doing with their news alert. So this is a really powerful feature where you can actually put up a site-wide alert, especially as kind of things are changing in real time on us right now. You can actually
every church has the site, some kind of thing going on the top of their website right now, right? Like what's going on during the coronavirus.
The ease of doing this is you just make a news post, and then there's just an option that says mark this as a site-wide alert. And so every single page of their website right now would have that alert at the top. So no one's going to miss it no matter where they come. If there's something you really want to highlight for people, we make stuff like that really, really simple as well. And we won't even dive into this just for the sake of time, but we have a whole email newsletter platform built in here where you can actually send out kind of email blasts to your congregation. So there's lots of different power there. You can grab your recent news updates. You can grab your sermons and your news and kind of distribute them out by email. So that's really fun. And then I'm also just kind of highlighting some other great churches that have set up here. These are all just in the last couple of months. These guys have all launched, which is really fun, but they've done a great job.
Yeah. Oh, I saw download the Tithely app.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And then probably the last big thing to highlight here is this alert we're seeing at the top right now. Next live stream starts in 1 hour, 41 minutes.
Yes. For all the churches meeting at home or remotely or not physically, right? This is the big thing. Like Church Online, every church had to go figure this out.
Yeah. Exactly. And so this was a quick pivot on our end. We met probably, I think, within a couple of days of the stay-at-home orders and churches across the country having to not be able to meet. We said, there's got to be something we can do here. And so basically what we did was we took your live stream wherever you've got it, if it's on Facebook or YouTube, and actually allowed you to host your service directly in your website, because we really think about your website as your home base online. It's kind of your main platform where everyone knows to come find you. And so we said, hey, why can't we just have the service right there? And so, a lot of those platforms do some really neat things, and Facebook actually made some great enhancements in their live stream service. But what I think we loved most about being able to bring your live stream home was that you can actually control the environment a little bit more, which means it's your chat. It means people don't have to sign up for a Facebook account if they're not comfortable being on there to actually be able to engage in the chat. It all happens right on your site. Why don't here? I'll just pull one up really quick just to show you how simple this is. We're going to add a new live stream coming up here, and I'll just post one. Grab this here. I'm grabbing a random YouTube URL. That's dangerous, but we're going to go for it. And we'll just put a fake.
I'm going to unshare your screen if.
And so we got guest speaker, so we can pick from any one of our pastoral staff that could be speaking that particular day. We'll choose our start time here. We'll actually pick it to be 10 minutes ago, just so you can see right out of the gate, and then we'll pick this to end an hour and a bit from now. Simulated live stream is something you can do so that people, when they jump in, so a lot of churches are pre-recording their services right now, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. Simulated live stream means that if they jump in 10 minutes after the service starts, we're going to start them at the 10-minute mark of your pre-record so that they're not out of sync with everyone else in the chat. You can kind of all be saying amen at the same moments of the sermon, and so that helps simulate that piece of it. Here you have the option to turn the countdown on or off, and then we can actually post some scripture in here. And I'll just put this is our scripture for this, so we can just see where that's going to show up. So here I'm going to
need you to type out your favorite memory verse right there, Matt.
Yeah, okay. So now that we updated that, you see at the top here, it posts live service in progress.
So as soon as you create a live stream, then this bar at the top shows up.
That's right. And so if I put it
and it has a countdown.
Yeah, and if I put it in the future, then it would be a countdown. But because I put it for right now, because I wanted to actually show you how this all looks, then we actually loads up in real time. And so we've got our live stream rolling right now, and it starts playing right away for us. You see here that I can join the chat, so I'm going to jump in here. Sorry, I accidentally refreshed the screen. Here we go. Join the chat in. Here's that scripture that I could post, and those could be anything: scripture, service notes, order of service, whatever you wanted to do, and you can rename that scripture tab if you want to use it for something else. And then this was actually something we just launched this week, is the ability for a playlist, so we can see what sermons are live right now, but also I can watch past ones directly here and actually jump in.
So cool.
And if I jump into the previous one, I actually get to see that chat that happened back then. And then here I mentioned we did the give option as well, and so that's baked right into every live stream. As you can have your Tithely giving set up right there, so people can actually tithe during the service, not leave the stream, and then jump right back to it.
Like the sermon's still playing in the background, like you're still participating, giving's happening right there, you're chatting with people right there, the scripture's there, past sermons are showing up there, like it's all happening on this page. Like, Matt, give us your, couple of thoughts on like why churches are gravitating towards doing live stream this way. Why have it on your website in this environment versus sending people to YouTube or Facebook or wherever else?
Yeah. I think just the couple of points I was thinking there was around kind of getting to like create this to be your own, like that you kind of control the environment, you know exactly where to send people. There's not this idea about go to Facebook, but you have to kind of follow this link or get through that path. I know so many people have difficulties kind of trying to find the right stream, or they end up watching an old one. And so to control that whole space, I think makes a really big difference in terms of you just go to your website /live, and they're going to get it every time. Or just go to your website and click on the watch live at the top. That's really nice. I think getting to, again, control that archive, it's all here. The versatility, and that you can use whatever streaming platform you want. Again, that if you're doing Facebook, which has some great wins, again, it kind of can count out people who don't have Facebook or have chosen not to be on that social network. So some different wins there. And yeah, I think like
you don't need an account. You don't need to be on Facebook or YouTube or you don't need an account to kind of get into these places.
Yeah.
You get to, and people can still chat. So I didn't have an account. I just put my name in. Now I can chat with, the church as the sermon's going on. So, love that.
I'm going to steal John Holcamp's thunder a little bit here. I know he's going to have some big announcements in the next couple of weeks here, but our apps team is actually working on the integration of this right now and is about to deploy the ability to stream your live stream in sync with your app. So again, it's your whole church kind of tuning in collectively at the same time. Your chat's going to be synced up to your app. So some really fun things. Again, we're kind of keeping it in-house. Makes all the difference because you can control that space that much more, but pretty fun to have that ability.
The other thing I'll throw out is you're controlling that experience. So it has your brand, it's on your church website. And so you've removed all the distractions, right? Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, any other places you could be streaming. When you send people there, there's all the distractions of Facebook, right? I'm seeing my notifications, I'm seeing ads, I'm seeing other things in the newsfeed potentially. Like there's potential for people getting distracted, and average view times on Facebook and YouTube are super low. And I was talking to a streaming provider, it might've been earlier this week, and they were talking about how watch times on the church website when the stream is embedded right there are through the roof in comparison to what you see on a Facebook or YouTube platform. Right. So there's definitely something going on in terms of keeping people's attention and owning that environment, the brand, the control of the chat, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So,
actually, we don't often talk about future features. I'm kind of breaking some rules here, but one other thing, just another win we're working on right now is that we started this conversation by talking about the sermon player. What we're going to be doing right now is actually setting it up so that when your live stream ends, it's going to automatically post it into your sermon page. So again, more in sequence, which then if you think about it, syncs directly to your app. So we're trying to make life as easy as we can for you. We know there's a lot going on and lots of new things to be worrying about. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible to communicate with your.
But like huge, right? Calendar of events and sermons all being in sync in your app and on your website, and even feeding to iTunes. Like there's no administrative work needed to have all those things just in sync and working, right? Yeah. That's a massive win, and churches don't have to worry about updating their stuff. And you might be posting it on YouTube or running your live from YouTube. So your YouTube channel's up to date, your website has this thing, it's organized in your past sermon player, and it's been on your, iTunes channel and in your app. Like it's killer. And every church is doing church online, probably, for at least another, I don't know, handful of weeks, maybe months, depending on where you're at in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really big deal.
Yeah. So some pretty fun things there. I want to quickly just touch on it. I appreciate the comments that are being left in the chat there. We can touch on a couple really quickly, which people are asking about syncing with our CHMS. And so just so you know, that is like literally this week we're looking at it. It was actually, we're supposed to do it a month ago, but then obviously we're like live stream, we need to build that out. So it got pushed a little bit, but we know, again, the way we talk about syncing with apps, we'd love to have that same functionality for you with CHMS. So we're going to be building some of that stuff in because we know, syncing is great.
For sake of time, maybe we can get to the comments in the chat on that kind of in the weeds type of stuff. But what's the plan? Like if I'm a Tithely customer, or if I'm new to Tithely, how do I get Tithely sites? What's the pricing look like? Like, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So standard pricing right now is a setup fee of $149. And then it's going to be a $19 a month subscription going forward. So that's pricing that I just say that, but I'm like still crazy excited about that. That's for what we're giving you. Again, there's like 4 or 5 services baked into the website platform that could cost you $40, $70, $80 in other places. And everything is built in for $19 a month. So really, really fun in terms of being able to, again, just give churches great software, like industry leading software at a really affordable rate. So we're loving that. But the reason we really needed to get live this week is we got a special promo right now where for the month of May, we're actually waiving that setup fee. So there's no charge to get going. The only charge you'd see is the $19 a month that get billed after 30 days. So really, if you want to kind of jump in and test it out, you're have at her because now's the time to get started.
Yeah, jump in, right? It's $0 to get set up. You get the great live streaming kind of product. Giving's obviously baked in, all these other things. If you already have a Tithely Church app, it's going to plug in there really well. So yeah, hopefully we're making it really easy. And our team kind of comes alongside to answer questions. There's a very easy kind of DIY builder, right? You pick a template, you modify some things, you get some of your content in, and then you can publish your website. And we've had churches, go live in a day. Right on the fast side, right? The really fast ones. So we've made it, pretty easy. to get up and running. So yeah, man, no setup fees. That's pretty cool.
So if you're a Tithely customer today, you're already in the family there. If you log into your dashboard, you'll see a sites option in the left side. And if you click that, you'll actually see it's a $0 setup fee, and you can be started like literally 10 minutes from the moment of watching this. You could be editing your new website and getting going on it. So that's really fun. If you're not yet with Tithely and you're kind of seeing this for the first time, hearing about this, then just let our sales team know. They'd be happy to kind of answer any of the questions you have, get you set up, and they can have you editing your website today.
Yeah, and it's $19 a month USD for I saw a question in the chat, and yeah, we allow Google Analytics to be turned on in Tithely sites, so you can it has all the, we didn't go deep on all the things. It's so much deeper than what we showed you guys today. So
maybe a workshop sometime on all the depth.
Yeah, like if we want to go, we probably need a bunch more time. But if you want more info, guys, just either chat us below, or you can use hello@tithe.ly, or you can go to our website and chat, and we can get we can do a kind of deeper demo and answer a bunch of really specific questions, because we probably just don't have the time to do everything today. But yeah, Matt, this is awesome. Thanks for joining today. Anything we want to tell folks, like as we wrap up here, or?
I think we covered the gist of it. It's fun. Definitely, just give it a shot. If you're wondering about this, you're on the fence. I think the beauty of doing it this month is you can try it out and see how it feels. And if it doesn't work for you, that's okay too. But this is the time to kind of give it a shot. We all got a few extra.
You're actually right. The 149 is waived, and you're not even billed the 19 until after the first 30 days. So the first 30 days is essentially free. You can come in and play around with it, but once you get the church online portion set up and everything's kind of working, man, there's really no reason to leave. It's as cheap or cheaper than what you'd be paying for a Wix or Squarespace or WordPress or anything like that. Once you've added in anything you need to have all the features that we give you out of the box, it's a great value. So man, we're pumped to make it easier for churches to do church online, and to have integrated solutions between their calendars and websites and apps and all these kind of things. So as the Tithely ecosystem keeps coming together more and more, we can deliver on that promise to kind of integrate and make your lives easier. So yeah, this is good stuff. Matt, thanks for joining today.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, if you're still with us, or even if you watch it later, we post your website in the comments. Like, we'd love to see your website if you're on Tithely sites already, or if you're looking around, post your website, post your question. Give the show a like, help us spread the word here. But we appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with more great content. And we hope you have a great day.
See ya.